Thanks for your time today, Adrian.
Pleasure now.
We never get an opportunity to just sit and have a chat like this away from Broadway,
Chew
as
the
it were.
fat.
Chew the fat. We've been looking at you working very hard in our V8 supercar paddock now over quite a number of years with a very high degree of success, but the wider audience probably doesn't know a lot about your background. Give us the 30-second tour.
Oh, 30 seconds. Oh, look at me. I'm sort of industry grown. You know, I started a 15-year-old working in a race team as a mechanic. Did my trade through Formula 3, got myself into the right team where I knew I could take that next step up the ladder. Arrived at Formula 1 at McLaren in '91 as a sort of 22-year-old kid and absolutely loved my time there. Stayed there, worked my way through that system there on the test team, got myself onto the race team, got myself on the Micker's car, spent a good period of time working with Hakkinen, who I'm still friends with today. He's a true legend of the sport. And then I decided, well, realised what my wife told me, that, you know, it was time to grow up and stop being so selfish. So I needed to, yeah, and I wanted to spend a bit of time at home, going to 6 races, you know, 4 Grand Prix, 6 races without going back home takes a toll on your private life, on your home life. So it was time to step out of Formula 1, you know, got married, started a family, dropped back into Formula 3, started engineering, so I came off the tools, started engineering and race management, bumped into my old pal Courtney, met him in that period, and then found myself back in Formula 1 again for a very short spell. And that was really the straw that broke the camel's back on that part of my life, and then ended up coming down to Australia in 2006.
So how did that happen?
Well, funnily enough, I was at Melbourne for the Grand Prix, caught up with James and Stevie Johnson for dinner on a Saturday night, and a couple of weeks later he rings me up and said, you know the guy who came for dinner? I said, yeah. He said, well, they're looking for a TM. What do you think? And always loved Australia, always you know, came here for a couple of holidays. I've got family here, obviously spent a bit of time here racing, and thought, if we're going to do it, now's the time to do it. So yeah, decided to take the plunge and step into V8 supercars, and yeah, the rest of it's the recent history that you're aware of.
It's a big step to jump from one side of the planet to the other in a very different type of series.
So I got to admit, at the start of it, I was quite nervous of leaving Europe, leaving the area where I've done 20-odd years already of racing, where I knew all the teams, knew all the players. Stepping out of that sort of safety zone to come down here and apply your trade, well, it was quite a move. But Dick and Jill, you know, DJR, were fantastic in helping us as a family readjust to this, you know, the climate and the way of life down here. They were fantastic. And then, yeah, I've been lucky. I mean, Roland, you know, we fell out at the end, but he was there. It's great to work for. He helped me a lot, and I've learned a lot from him.
That partnership with James and with the Johnson family yielded a championship in 2010, so that's always a fantastic thing to achieve wherever you are in the business. You mentioned Roland. Where has that now settled to? Because that was pretty big news last year when all that unfolded.
I think it's settled. Look, I mean, it was quite strange because I didn't leave DJR to go there thinking I'm only going to be here for 3 years. I didn't go into it like that. It's just a few things changed for me during my time there. Yeah, and well, look, we fell out. You know, he put me in the garden pretty quick, which, look, I would have done the same to anyone else in my position. It's a little bit frosty to start with, but look, we're back on speaking terms. But you know, only really from a business point of view. I haven't been around to his place for dinner for a while, funnily enough. But I mean, I've got a lot of respect for him and what he's done and what he's done with his team, and only time will tell whether he's got any respect for me or not. But to be honest, I'm not worried about that. I'm focusing on what I'm doing and what we're doing here at HRT.
You've got 4 drivers, very different animals, all at different stages of their career, yes. Garth Tander, James Courtney, Lee Holdsworth, Tim Slade.
James is he's your happy-go-lucky, you know, he's serious when he's got his hat on.
So it seems.
Yeah, but look, he's serious when he's got his hat on, he's serious when he's working with his engineer, but you know, he likes to take it a more relaxed approach, especially from the outside. Garth's very much the opposite to that. He's very analytical, great at his job anyway, but he does a fantastic job. You know, he's still there. He's up there in the championship year on year. The pair of those two are established. You know, they're expecting championship wins. The other two, I put them back in the same bracket. You know, Lee and Tim. They're still stars of the future. They still haven't really established themselves.
What do they got to do? What do they have to do?
Got to be consistent, and they've probably got to let the team do the job with the car, and those guys still focus on being a driver and not not at that point where they need to steer the ship to where they want it to go. You know, they've got to come along with the ship and let the elder guys and the engineers and myself guide where we're heading. But they've got the talent for sure. Those guys can deliver and they will deliver, and it's our job and the engineer's job to give them the equipment to do that. But they will be the guys that in 4 or 5 years' time, hopefully winning all the races.
One of the things that I've picked up on watching you work and listening to your language through the 3 teams that we've witnessed you doing your stuff with here in Australia in the recent past, you talk a bit about culture, team, use the word team a lot. It's obviously very important to you, and it's something that you've brought with you from the floor.
When I arrived at DJR, I mean, they were clearly a team that had achieved a lot in the past, but they weren't really, I didn't see them working very well together as a group of people. And yeah, we made a few changes and got that culture back together with everyone enjoying their work. You've still got to be professional. You've got to put in a full day's work, and you've got to be honest with yourself. I think honesty is a big part of generating the culture and the team spirit. You can always do your job better than you've done it. And I think if you can't look at yourself and admit when you haven't done a good job, then it's probably time to stop. I think that is an underlying part of the culture in any team, is being honest with yourself as well.